At McDonald's when I was 16 years old. I've said this 1,000 times, and there are systems that I learned working at McDonald's for 10 months when I was 16 years old that I use in my business
They're some
today.
of the best systems. That's why they're such a success. So this is kind of fitness related, but I think people connect to it because it's kind of the same thing in the entrepreneur world. I'll get people messing me all the time. Hey, I just got out of school and I want to develop an online training system, and what's the best approach? I'm like, go get a job at 24 Hour Fitness and start training people.
That's
and they're
so
like, what?
true.
I'm like, you got to learn basic fundamental, like how to train people, how to interact, and you need to spend 5, 10, 15 years doing this. And they're like, but I want to write stuff online like you. And I'm like, I did that for, let's see, I published my first article in 7, 8 years ago. So I did that for 20 years before I published. I felt confident enough to write a piece for a publisher.
Yep.
20 years, 15 years, let's say, worst case scenario. Maybe I'm off. Maybe it was earlier. Definitely not earlier than 15 years.
Yes.
Okay. And then I started. They're like, well, how do I build my online brand? How do I do this stuff? I'm like, well, let's see. I founded my company in 2015. I started producing daily content for free in 2007. Okay. 2012 is about the time I started producing regular written content. That's online, working for a number of different sites. So I did that for nearly a decade. Plus, there was years of forum stuff before that, building a following in that arena that carried over to YouTube and so on. Before I even launched my business, that was 8 years of work.
Right.
Not making a dime before I went to seek to monetize it.
Even worse
And
than
that's
that.
with a huge foundation. We're talking being
well, that's with
a
your
world
background.
record-holding athlete and
Right.
being like a sought-after expert for what I did. Yeah.
What about my other favorite one along these lines are the coaches. Right? I want to be a speaker. I want to be a coach. It's like, okay, what have you done? No, I want to be a speaker.
Oh my God.
I want to be a coach.
I want to be a motivational speaker.
I want to be a motivational. What have you done?
From what?
No, that's what I want to do.
What? Yeah.
Yeah. It doesn't come from anywhere.
Okay, I got. Me and my wife. There's a couple people that we follow from her past that they're trying to do this. My wife's a lot younger than me, so these people are like, late 20s, 30 years old, still living like in their parents' house. Don't know what they're doing for work because they got to have some sort of income. So I'm guessing it's waiting tables. Mm-hmm. Nothing wrong with waiting tables, by the way. I did it for a long time. Mm-hmm. Those are my first. When I talked about working through all those years through high school and college, that's what a lot of that was.
Good work.
I made great money doing it.
And you learn a ton.
About learning to interact with people.
That's it. Yep.
Right, freaking there. How to be able to manage a lot of different details in your head all at once, or develop the organizational systems that you need if you don't have that ability to process that.
That's what I was just going to say. I worked at McDonald's when I was 16 years old. I've said this 1,000 times, and there are systems that I learned working at McDonald's for 10 months when I was 16 years old that I use in my business
They're some
today.
of the best systems. That's why they're such a successful organization.
So I got paid $3.10 an hour.
You want to watch a great motivational movie that was geared to not be like to demonize someone, and that's the McDonald's story. What's the name of it?
Oh, the Ray Kroc.
The Ray Kroc one.
Yeah.
Talk about somebody that's got failing health, never had a successful business. They're on their dying dime. Second mortgage their house. 58 years old. You're like, you're done, man.
Yeah.
What's he do? He just keeps working. He keeps working. He keeps working, and he creates one of the most iconic brands in the world, with incredible process and ability to scale and keep the level of consistency. Like at 58, failing in every aspect of his life.
Yeah.
From marriage to health to finances to business.
Just kept going.
Kept going.
Yeah.
That is such an inspirational tale. I became a big McDonald's fan. I started eating there. I'm telling you, that movie.
You're not supposed to say that based on what you do for a living, are you?
Nah, people are fucking stupid. It's calories in, calories out, man.
Yeah.
And you got to get your greens and other stuff. So yeah, don't eat McDonald's 3 meals a day.
Right.
I'll eat McDonald's once a week, and I can get single-digit body fat. Like,
Well,
who cares?
Yeah, I guess that's.
I'll get a double quarter pounder and some fries. So
and away you go.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, that McDonald's though, that's there's a lot of people look down their nose, like we started the conversation off talking about, looking down at people
it's such
that
an
work
incredible
there.
story.
And that.
But the processes.
The processes. I mean, it's invalid. They couldn't have. I'd have worked for free. I should have paid them for the education I got working there for 9 months when I was a 16-year-old. Now, it didn't take right away at 16 that I realized that I learned this. Time had to go by for me to kind of grasp it.